Hey guys, we are still in London and today we're going to make a video showing you the best way to see as much of London as possible if you're on a limited time.
So we'll try to keep our spend today below £25, including transportation and food.
Yeah.
And we'll show you exactly how to get from A to B so that your day can be as streamlined as possible.
So today is kind of all about making your life easier when you're trying to visit London, because we know just how overwhelming that can be. We're starting the day off right here in front of Buckingham Palace. It is 10 in the morning, which is why you can see these huge crowds behind us, because just before 11 a.m. is when the changing of the guard happens. As you know, Buckingham Palace is the royal residence at the moment and is one of the most important landmarks in London.
These days are running slow. Sunsets and shores far from home.
I think they want food. Hello. I don't have anything.
Headlights are shining on the sea.
So our next spot is the famous Westminster Abbey, and we're now currently going through St. James's Park. And this park has a lot of wildlife.
Yeah.
It has swans, it has pelicans, it even has parakeets, which are not native to the UK, but somehow they appeared here and they multiplied, and they're in a lot of parks
There's
here.
loads of them now.
Yeah, and no one knows how they actually got here. Yeah, we're now approaching the
Ooh,
pelicans.
look at those pelicans, they're so huge.
They're very large.
Pinkish.
Yeah.
Look like flamingo pelicans. This is a really cool spot, especially in the summer. There's loads of people picnicking here, having their lunch breaks from all the offices around here. People come here in this park. I mean, I remember seeing these pelicans many times before, but
Never so close
never
up.
never so big and never so pink.
And they have
They have a
fabulous,
mohawk.
yeah, they have fabulous hairdo.
They have a mohawk.
Oh.
Look how cute they are.
Minding their own business.
And their beaks are so multicolored.
Oh yeah, look at that.
They have a mohawk.
I love the fact that they're pink.
I literally worked for about 7 years within 5-minute walking distance of this spot, and I've never noticed how pink they are. I don't think they are always like this. It's probably a seasonal thing.
No, it's based on what they eat, because even flamingos, I think they eat some type of algae that makes their feathers pink.
Honestly, I never knew that pelicans moo.
Yeah,
They
I was quite
sound-
surprised.
They sound just like cows, I swear. That was a really nice encounter, actually. I was very much expecting we would run into loads of squirrels and parakeets
as
this
well, yeah.
morning, and not necessarily into these very beautiful pink pelicans. We're just leaving St. James's Park right now, and within 3 minutes we will be in Westminster Square next to our following 3 destinations.
To all those places on the wall. When none come close to this, I'm sure.
We are now in Westminster Square. Got a Big Ben behind us right here. We've got the Westminster Abbey behind over there. And we've got the Parliament on the other side. And this is all very accessible. It only took us a few minutes from Buckingham Palace to get here. Behind us right now, you can see Big Ben.
Which is actually Elizabeth Tower. When I moved here, I remember it was under renovation and it lasted a few years, but now it looks super beautiful.
But I'll never find this anywhere else.
We've got the Westminster Abbey behind us where all the royalties get married.
I think except from Princess Diana.
And that is the Parliament over there, right next to it.
In my opinion, the Parliament is the most impressive building.
It is definitely
out
one of the most
all
impressive
of
ones,
them
yeah.
From the square. Also, just wanted to mention that it is currently February, so it gets dark at about 5:30 p.m. So hopefully we can see as many things as possible before it gets too dark.
Yeah, so if you are visiting London in the summer months, in June, July especially, just know that it gets dark around 10 p.m.,
10, yeah.
if not even after 10
Yeah.
p.m. So you'll have so much more daylight to actually explore London. But for now, we're gonna have to be in a bit of a rush today.
Less than 10 minutes away from Westminster Abbey, we arrived to Trafalgar Square.
So this is one of the main squares in London, and as you can see right there behind us, you have the National Gallery, which is actually quite a famous landmark in London. And the cool thing about it is that it's free to enter. It's a really cool art museum.
So a cool fact is that I don't know if all museums are free to enter, but I think almost all museums are free to enter in London.
Now that we've seen Trafalgar Square, we will come back fairly close to it behind it. You will see later today we'll probably get to Piccadilly Circus. But until then, we now have about a 5-minute walk to Embankment Station. We're getting in the tube for the first time today. We are finally getting to a very cool viewpoint of the London Eye. We are trying to get into the tube station at Embankment. So right beside the station you have Embankment Bridge, which is pedestrian. And off this bridge you get some of the best views of London Eye. It is especially a cool spot to come here after dark because the wheel is really beautifully lit up. We've been living in London for give or take 10 years. And how many times have we been on the wheel?
Never.
Never.
It is a tourist trap. It is very expensive to go on the wheel.
And as far as the views go, I think there are so many other spots in London that offer similar views, if not better.
Yeah. Some of them are free.
Yeah, and even if they're not free, at least you buy yourself a drink with that money or that kind of stuff. London Eye looks amazing. It's very famous, but it would definitely be in my top 3 attractions to avoid in London.
Yeah.
We are headed to the tube. We're going to get into Embankment Station and we are going to get off at Tower Hill, which is right next to the Tower of London and Tower Bridge. And this is a really short journey. I think it's only like 4 or 5 stations away. So we should be there in less than 10 minutes, hopefully.
The next station is Tower Hill. Change for the District Line. DLR from Tower Gateway. Exit for the Tower of London. Tower Bridge.
We are now on the side of Tower of London. Normally access to and around Tower of London is way easier, but in February 2025 they're doing loads of works around the tower. So most of it is closed. There's no real access to go around and view it. We do have some older shots from around it, so we might actually insert that right here. For the time being, this is all the access you can get unless you pay for the ticket to get into the tower. So we're now on Tower Bridge, like a side view of the Tower of London. This was built over centuries, starting with the 1200s all the way to the 1500s. It was a residence, it was a prison, it was also a spot where they kept exotic animals in London. So really cool spot, an amazing tour that we definitely recommend you guys do. And also within the tour now, you can see the crown jewels here. We've just left the Tower of London area. There is an underground tunnel, sort of underground, under road tunnel that leads straight to St. Catherine's Docks. This is a really cool part of London. We've always loved coming here, especially in the summer and when it's sunny outside. It's such a great place to hang out. These docks have been around for about 200 years now. So ever since we got out of the tube here in Tower Hill, it's so much more windier than it was before.
Yeah.
So this really cool spot here, this is St. Catherine's Docks. There's always loads of beautiful boats here, and there's quite a few pubs and restaurants, mainly chain restaurants in this area, but there are a few good ones too.
Especially if you want to have a drink outside and just admire the boats. It's really nice.
Especially in such a touristy area with Tower Bridge and Tower of London. This is a nice spot to be able to, you know, have a bit of quiet, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like not many people come here. I don't know if it's a bit more hidden,
It is a bit more hidden.
but it's really a special place. It's very non-like anything else in London. So we just crossed Tower Bridge on the south side, and we are in a spot at the foot of the bridge where you have a beautiful viewpoint. You have a viewpoint of all the newer buildings like the walkie-talkie, and then you have a beautiful view of the actual bridge.
And
behind
the
me.
Tower of London as well.
Oh
on
yeah,
other
and the
side.
Tower of London. So this is a pedestrian area, so it's really nice to walk around. It tends to get a bit hectic sometimes because it's kind of touristy, but it's one of my favorite parts of London. We actually used to live close by, so we would take walks here almost every day.
I feel like this area will always be somewhat special to us because this is where we lived when the pandemic started, when the first lockdowns happened. So we would always walk down here every day. There were, you know, just a handful of people in this area. There
Yeah.
were no tourists whatsoever. It was really, really eerie, I think.
But nice.
And yeah, nice in that sense. But yeah, very special. I have to say we are moving quicker than I thought we would. We are now walking towards lunch, finally. So excited. We're going to Borough Market to grab some food. It is the most famous food market in London and the oldest one too, dating back almost 1,000 years. But until then, we have one more quick stop to make to visit one of the newer buildings in London and probably one of the most impressive ones too.
And the tallest ones.
Yeah, exactly. So as we're walking now towards Borough Market, we're walking past this building behind us, somewhat spherical looking, and this is the City Hall of London.
So right now we're walking towards Borough Market, and on the way you have this beautiful view of the Shard. So the Shard is the tallest building in Europe.
So we stopped at our favorite Italian deli here in Borough Market called Gastronomica. They have really, really amazing sandwiches for decent prices. So we paid £16 for two really big sandwiches, one with mortadella and pistachio and stracciatella, and the other one with prosciutto and burrata. We did pack one to go and one we're gonna take in our hand right now so we can walk and not waste time in here because we need to get to our next destination. We could barely find anywhere to stand, somewhat a bit more secluded because it's really crowded today.
But I think Borough Market is worth visiting. They have so many stalls, they have so much food and so many other treats, and yeah, it's cool to see.
And even produce if you want to cook at home.
Yeah.
And drinks and really nice craft beer spots and wine bars as well. Does it remind you of Italy?
Not the setting, but food, yeah.
If you've watched any of our videos and you know us at all, you know how much we love a very good Italian panino. So this definitely hit the spot. But if you do want to see and know more about Borough Market and see what else you can find in here, we do have a dedicated video to it. We filmed that last year. Go and check that out because it's actually really insightful. And there's loads of delicious food, so why not?
So right at the base of Millennium Bridge is Tate Modern, which is the Museum of Modern Arts. And it's free to enter. We've been there a few times. It's really, really cool.
Just a quick recap. For now, today, we've only spent money on the sandwich and the tube.
And the tube, yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
We are now going to cross Millennium Bridge. We're going back on the north side of the Thames. And this beautiful walk here on the Millennium Bridge leads right into St. Paul's Cathedral.
Also, this bridge was featured in the Harry Potter movie, one of them.
Yeah, it actually gets destroyed in the movie. And yeah, you'll be shocked to see when you come here that it's actually not destroyed.
Yeah.
We got to St. Paul's Cathedral and it is so impressive. Every time we see it, it's like it still impresses us after so many years. So this is one of the most important landmarks in London. It was built in the 1700s. It's amazing to visit. I remember when I first came to London as a tourist, I did the whole tour. But if I was to be completely honest, it's overpriced, I think.
Yeah, it is quite expensive.
It's £25 per person. 100% very impressive, beautiful interior. You get to see the crypt as well. You can do the tour all the way up and you can get to see the views from up there at the top. But equally, it's £25. If you're a family of four, that's £100 right there.
And if you're in a rush, if you have just one day to visit London, maybe skip it. But it's amazing to see from the outside.
Yeah, so what we propose is you come here, you see this, and then we are going to take you right now to a place that has similar views, not quite as high, but at least it's free. So
it's free and you get to see St. Paul's.
Exactly. We are now right beside St. Paul's Cathedral in a shopping mall called One New Change. Now normally we wouldn't include a shopping mall in an itinerary of only 24 hours in London, but there's two cool things about this spot.
First, this is one of the best places to get photos of St. Paul's. And second, you can go on the rooftop of the mall and have beautiful views of St. Paul's and of the city of London.
We would take you there right now, but sadly it's now closed until June for renovation. So if you're here after June 2025, definitely go check out One New Change, the rooftop. It's free to go and it has really beautiful views of the London skyline. But now we're in a rush. Let's go catch that bus. We are now moving on to Covent Garden.
We are taking the famous double-decker bus.
So we'll be there in about 15 minutes, so it's really not a long journey.
So a short bus ride away, we are now in Covent Garden, which is one of the most favorite spots in London. Mostly because it has this beautiful gallery, which is very old. It used to be a produce market back in the day. So you basically come in Covent Garden because one, the gallery is beautiful. Second thing is shopping. There's so many stores here from clothing to makeup to even handmade stuff. And there's also a very good food market nearby, which we covered in one of our food markets vlog, if you want to check that out as well.
And if you come here around Christmas time, it's one of the most beautifully decorated areas of London. A huge Christmas tree as well. And it's just like a really charming spot to be.
Yeah, and it's also a pedestrian area, so it's nice to walk around here, unless it gets too crowded at some point,
And it's in
which
the
it kind of
middle,
does.
And it's in the middle of all the theaters here in London. And right behind us, that building, that is the back of the Opera House here in London. Right beside Covent Garden, you have this small courtyard here called Neal's Yard. It's one of the most beautiful parts of London, honestly.
Yeah, it's very colorful.
But the only downside is that it's normally overrun with people.
Not today, though.
Not today, though. It's February, it's a bit chilly, it's overcast. It's obviously not tourism high season, so it's fantastic. There's a really nice wine bar over here. There's a cafe on the other side. There's all kinds of bakeries and artisan shops here. There's one really famous cheese shop as well. Definitely worth a visit. If you're in Covent Garden, this is like 1 minute away. And we are not going to spend any more time here right now because we are on our way to our next stop. We're going to Piccadilly Circus, but first we are stopping in Chinatown. We got to Chinatown, and of course, being February, it had to start raining in London.
Yeah, we had 3 seasons today.
Really cool spot in London. Loads of places to eat, to get snacks, bubble tea, all kinds of Chinese, but not just Chinese treats.
Yeah, it's very vibrant, very beautiful.
So this place is right next to Soho. So if you come here in the evening, it's actually very beautifully lit. It's not the case now, obviously, but in the evening, this is a very vibrant spot. We're in London's Times Square in Piccadilly Circus. And right here in the middle, this is one of the most important, I guess, and oldest junctions in London. I think back in Old English, circus used to mean junction, so that's why we have all these circuses. Although this place usually kind of is a circus anyway. It's 4 p.m. now. I can't believe we've done so many things and it's only been about 6 hours. I feel like it's been like 12 hours at least. I think this is at that time of day when we're suffering the crash and the coffee would work so well. Okay, so the bus ride was not that terribly long. It was only 20 minutes, but it was so crowded.
Let's just say it wasn't very glamorous.
It was just not glamorous. And speaking of glamour, we are now nearing Harrods. We're gonna go inside, have a quick look, but we're not gonna spend too much time.
Harrods is a staple of London, and you don't necessarily need to spend money on designer items if you want to come here. You can just enjoy the department store by walking around. They have coffee shops, they have bakeries, they have chocolate, they have food halls, and everything looks very luxurious, but it's affordable. They also have makeup, perfumes, so yeah, you don't necessarily need to buy a Louis Vuitton bag or something.
only a short walk away from Harrods. You can find the Natural History Museum. This is one of the most beautiful buildings on the outside, but also very impressive on the inside.
Yeah.
The really cool thing is that it's free to enter. They have amazing exhibits of dinosaurs and basically anything related to natural history. We've been there a couple of times, and actually it's great fun.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's a great way to spend a few hours.
So we arrived at our last stop of the day. We are at Churchill Arms. This is a very popular pub in London. It's not as crowded as I would have expected it to be. We got a table straight away. This was about a 10-minute bus ride from the Natural History Museum, or you can just walk for about half an hour, but it was raining. So yeah, in our case, we took a bus. So this pub is very popular because it has a beautiful exterior. It's beautifully decorated. It has a lot of flowers. And during Christmas, it has a lot of Christmas lights. We've also been here during Christmas, and it is part of our Christmas vlog as well, if you want to check that out.
I feel like that was a very British way to finish this day off.
Yeah. Even though there weren't so many Brits in the pub, but yeah.
Yeah, this is a very touristy place, so you won't find many locals in here.
But like touristy as in good tourist.
As in not a tourist trap as much as a touristy landmark, let's say.
It's an attraction.
If you come in a summer month, obviously, even at this time of day, it will still be light outside. And 5 minutes away from us, there's Notting Hill, so you can always go for a walk in Notting Hill at the end if you want to discover that neighborhood too.
We hope you enjoyed this vlog and we gave you some inspiration if and when you want to come to London.
And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and we'll definitely see you in our next vlog.